Pa, I caught me a unicorn.
No, son, that's a Javan rhinoceros. It's an endangered species.
What's that?
An endangered species is a species that has so few living organisms that it's in threat of becoming extinct.
Why should I care? What does the Javan rhino do for me?
All animals are incorporated into a food web where each and every organism provides for another. Without the honeybee, for example, plants would not get pollinated, we would not be able to eat the animals that feed off these plants, and we would all would die.
I see.
Many animals are often considered critically endangered, just like that Javan rhino you wrangled there. Without these animals, all effects of biodiversity in the world would be absent.
What's biodiversity?
Biodiversity is the number of species and organisms within a given area.
But still, why are y'all telling me this? I don't even know what caused this mess in the first place.
Well, it all started like this. Back in the 1600s, Europe needed lots of lumber to build ships. Once they depleted their own forests, they began depleting those in the Americas. Ever since that period of time, over 700 species of organisms have become extinct, not to mention the other 17,000 that have been put on the endangered species list.
Gee, I can't even count that on my fingers. Why don't we stop animals from being called extinct?
Well, son, it's not that easy.
How so, Pa?
Well, not really sure, son.
I can explain that. There are many roadblocks to protecting endangered species, but the main one is poaching. Poaching is the illegal hunting of animals for their benefits. This often leads to the endangerment and possible extinction of animals in the wild. This will tamper with the biodiversity in many ecosystems.
Then why were you talking about deforestation in the Americas?
Well, that too is a key problem in the gradual extinction of animals. By cutting down trees for lumber, animals like Kermit here don't have a place to live, and one of the necessities of animals' life is shelter. That's why I had to work on Broadway.
Can't we just put them in a bubble and keep them away from their predators?
Endangered species are being held captive so they can be saved and possibly reproduce, but with some species, it's very hard to find the animals to hold them captive to save them.
If we can't find the dang animals, why should we help?
One ecosystem will indirectly affect the next.
Wow, I'm really starting to understand this now.
Really? You're wearing a hat made out of a lowland gorilla.
That's besides the point. Yeah, I still think I've got the hang of it.
Really? Tell us what you know.
Well, as far as endangered species go, there's this Javan rhinoceros, the manatee, the manatee.
I forgot a very critical point in this. These aren't just one or two endangered species out there getting harmed by human interaction. There are many, many more, such as...
Wait. Let's ask our audience. They're pretty smart.
Okay. What's the most endangered cat on Earth?
Correct. It's the Panthera pardus orientalis.
More commonly known as the Amur leopard.
Well, enough talk. We need to release this Javan rhino back into the wild.
Okay, now is there anything we can do to make sure species like him don't become endangered?
I reckon if we follow the policies in this here Endangered Species Act, they'll be fine.
The Endangered Species Act?
Signed into law by President Nixon in 1973, it protects several hundred endangered animals from the harmful effects of human interaction.
That sounds fancy. Has that actually worked?
Well, not quite. Arguments over property rights seem to take precedence over this issue. With all that goes on in the government day, this issue hardly gets noticed.
That can't be the only way to help out.
Actually, along with the restriction of property, laws make poaching illegal and the creation of stable habitats for animals to live in both came into action when animal activists wanted to help out.
Well, that's good.
Unfortunately, as I said earlier, a lot of these protection strategies can't perform properly because of the infamous poachers and daily pollution and destruction of our deer forests.
Ah, that's a shame. Well, I hope this rhino can go back and live a happy life.
I think I'm gonna cry.